Hello, subscribers. We are here to learn about how to get speaking gigs at every gig, where to get leads at every gig. We're going to make it happen, turning every single speaking gig that you ever do, free, paid, otherwise, into a marketing machine for better gigs, higher leverage gigs, and certainly higher fee gigs. Stick around. That's what we're doing today. Hey, my stinger didn't happen. That's all right. We'll just go forward with the content. That's what you're here to do anyway. Hey, live things happen. Things happen during live performances. Let's see why that happened. I see why that happened. You ready? Get ready, ladies and gentlemen, because we are about to dive into our topic, how to get speaking gigs from every single gig that you do. Oh my God. That still didn't work. Let's try this button and then do it manually. Totally worth it, right? Totally worth it. Aren't you glad you came? Hey, listen, do subscribe, do follow, do make sure you hit the little bell because I go live every day. And when you're live, when you go live and when you're watching a live presenter, anything can happen and you never know what I'm going to say. So if you're here live, you're going to get the stuff that I delete as well. All right, we're dipping into Get Speaking Gigs, the book today, and we are looking at the 39-point system, the different things that you can do to turn gigs into gigs. Hear me on this. Your speech is your best marketing tool. There's no better way to market yourself than to have people actually see you speak. So I'm going to not obviously go through every single detail. It's pages and pages of ideas here. But I do want to highlight some of the most important ones. The most important ones, and I also want to, the most important one is to have a strategy, right? That's the most important one. I've not talked about this, I don't think, ever before. But I do believe that is 100% the absolute most important tactic that you can have. And that is to have a strategy for turning your gigs, your audiences into more gigs. And the other thing is, I want you to be thinking about how to get to the next tier, how to play in the next sandbox, how to not just work the people in the room, but find out who they know who might be at the next sort of level of gig for you. You only need 6 or 7 introductions to get to the most powerful players in the world, right? As the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon law says, you only need a few connections, right? So if you just go 2 or 3 layers of who's the best referral and finding the best referrals from every interaction, every audience member, doesn't take long before that referral turns into another referral, which turns into a pretty powerful opportunity for you. Okay, so that's number one. Have a strategy and be thinking about not the people in the room, but the people who they know and who they know, right? So think long term. Now, your strategy should be broken down into sections. What are you going to do before the date of the gig, right? What are you going to do before the date? So this is everything that happens when the date is booked to long after the date even comes, right? So find yourself, decide for yourself, what are you going to do before the date? I have a few things like, send a contract and an agreement. And in that contract, stipulate things like providing testimonials, providing referrals, that sort of thing. I like to do a hype video so that I say, hey, I'm going to be appearing at this event. And I do a little magic trick because that's what I do. But you do what you do, share your message and say a little bit, 3-5 minutes, something like that. Not even that long. Mine, I think, was about a minute. That way it fits on the YouTube shorts and all that other stuff. And then they share it with their audience members who may not even be there, right? So you're getting a lot of extra marketing reach, and your face, your message, your energy, a demo video basically is going out to their entire employee base or their entire membership or their entire mailing list. So that is something I would like to do at every single gig. I put it in my system. Not just have a strategy, but have a system that you do every single time. And then, of course, inviting people to the event, etc. There's things you can do at the event, but before you speak, right? At the event, but before you speak. Things that you can do, like even as simple as reassuring the client that you've arrived, that you are going to do a great job, that they made the right choice, and just being excited and not being like, I'm so nervous. Like at the event before you speak, you can network with participants, et cetera, et cetera. I want to give you my favorite strategy. before you speak. Let's say you're speaking at an association conference. Well, you can reach out and find all of the member organizations, either through a member directory, or you can just ask all the member organizations. And now you have a list of prospects that are interested in your message, because you know the association event planner, right? The executive director or whatever, looked at your message and said, our people would like this. Our member associations would like this. So you've got at least a little bit of a clue that it's a targeted audience. And, obviously if they're paying you, that's even better. But then you just start reaching out to those organizations. It's a foot in the door. It's basically being able to say, hey, you going to that thing? I'm going to that thing. I'm speaking at that thing. I saw you're a member of that thing. Hey, I'd love to chat. And I just talked with a coaching client yesterday, and we talked about exactly what to say in those conversations, why to have those conversations, how to get those conversations. And that is an exciting process when you are suddenly doing one gig, but before the gig even happens, you are having sales conversations with 15, 20, 50 of the membership organizations who may bring you in for their own trainings after the event. All right. At the event, while you're speaking, obviously over deliver. We talk about casual mentions. We talk about making sure you survey the audience, not to get their information or their feedback, but rather to get their email addresses and some information that you can use to turn them into gigs. My favorite audience response system, I used to use Kiwi Live. That was like $200 per event, but it was worth it because I'd get dozens, if not hundreds, of email addresses, almost 80% of the room. And real simple way to start a prospect list, right? We talked about generating leads in previous videos. We know that if you're famous, that's the best, right? That's going to be your highest converting. You can charge basically whatever the hell you want, right? We also know that the next tier below that is like people who've seen you speak, right? Or like past clients. And this is such a rich source of leads that you do not want to neglect it. You do not want to miss it. So we talk about our, $12,000 piece of paper in the survey, in our courses when we're referring to surveys, because it is simply, you're like printing money. I mean, it's really a great tool. The one I use now, and the one I used for Zoom, and the one that has inundated me with leads. I'll show it to you. I think I can show it to you. Here it is. It is TALKADOT. TALKADOT is Arel Moody's program for gathering surveys. I'll just kind of show you what this looks like. Test my survey flow. So this is something they'll use on their device. If you are in the room live with them, they scan a QR code and this pops up. They enter their little code, they enter their email, and then you say, let's go. Is it valuable? Yes or no? Depending on this answer, they'll take them to different questions, and then, interactive, enjoyable, relevant, inspire, and blah, blah, blah. Now, this is really interesting. Are you interested in hearing future sessions by Tim? Do you book speakers for events? Yes, I do. Would you like to book Tim for a future speaking engagement? Yes, I am interested. And then they put their name, email, and phone number. So this has gathered, like I said, over 70 leads from my last gig last week. And then, job title, job organization, blah, blah, blah. If they say no, that they don't book speakers, and then you get testimonials right here. And I believe, yes. What else should Tim or the event organizer know? Okay. Very last question. Fantastic. I even added a bonus question. That's not I didn't enter my code, but if I entered my code, there'd be one bonus question that is super, super valuable. But yeah, that's basically how the tool works. And then you get this amazing data. And let's go ahead and take a look at the report. How do I do that? Like this. Okay. Boom. So you get this report. Look at this beautiful thing. And this is what I take back to the client. It allows me, it equips me at the follow-up meeting to be like, yo, hey, look at the feedback we got. I know I did a good job because of data. And, this is, it's pretty sweet, right? 95% want to hear Tim speak again. Hey, they want to hear me again. My last question that I didn't show you here is, what's the topic you want to hear Tim speak about? And I say, hey, 68% of your audience said they want to hear me talk about this. Let's do it next year or next month. So that is pretty cool. And then you can also share this on social media, which I definitely do, and I put on LinkedIn, and I definitely get some more impressions and more impress people as well with the data, provided it's good. That's why we say your number one marketing tool is to have a damn good speech, right? Have a damn good speech. All right, let's see here. Get that closed. The link for TALKADOT, by the way, it is a free tool. It is a free tool up to certain audience sizes. Yes, I did pay for when there's a 3,000 person event. But you don't want to miss out on leads, right? So if you suspect that you're going to hit that number, make sure you. And I debated it. I was like, oh, when I use Kiwi Live, I don't always get all the results. And they say there's going to be 1,000 people, but there'll probably only be 250. It is digital. Sure enough, there were 3,000 people, and everybody's passing the replay around. It went crazy. So yeah, definitely what you want to do is make sure that you can have the capacity to capture those leads. It is absolutely worth it. All right, so that is using an audience response system or even a physical paper and pen survey. And then, there's ways to ask for that survey so that you make sure you get a high percentage of those surveys filled out. You can watch me on my Zoom if you can find my Zoom replay. It's out there on the social medias. I shared it liberally, so you can see me actually ask for the survey. Then at the event, after you speak, I like to go and thank the person who hired me. I like to do a bunch of other stuff. There's like 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 different things that I do, including tweeting out the audience selfie that I took from the stage after the event. I like to do that with the event hashtag, and that way I create more connections and conversations, which is what this game is all about, right? Connections and conversations with people who have just seen me speak, right? Next. After the event is over, what am I going to do? I just did my 1 week follow-up, right? So a week after the event. Now I'm emailing them. Like when they fill out their survey, they're doing it because, I mentioned, hey, I'll give you a free thing. So that I send them the free thing right away. Then I do a couple other email follow-ups, inviting them to follow me on LinkedIn and that sort of stuff. And then I do my 1 week follow-up, which is the email that says, it's been 1 week since you saw me speak, right? And I say a little link to that video from the Bare Naked Ladies with the song called 1 Week. So a little bit of personality and a little bit of what do you call it? This is where I start really asking for referrals. I say, let me bring, human connection to your organization. Call me to find out how. Who do you know who hires speakers for conferences and events? Here's a link. So I'm very actively asking and specifically in directing the ask. And it's not hire me. It's let's spread this mission. I call it movement-based marketing. Movement marketing. It's not about you. It's about the movement. And you're like this leader of this little mini movement, and you're inviting people to join this movement. So, if your message is helpful and inspiring, of course, people would see the value of sharing that. I do a half birthday message. So 6 months from now, they'll get the person who hired me will get a picture of me with a half of a birthday cake saying, hey, it's been 6 months. What about next year? So on and on and on it goes. That is just some of the ways that I turn gigs into more gigs. Check the link below. I've got a couple of resources for you. The book, of course, and then TALKADOT is, let's call them a sponsor of this video. Why not? It is an affiliate link. And that is that for today. I am excited to continue following up with leads. We're now on the second phase of that. We've got 4 solid, people kind of in the process of booking me. And that's just so far, and much more to come. That is it from me, again, for real this time, and we will speak soon.